It's just a fanfiction, a story written by me, writer. This has nothing to do with mental ideal, BTS members, real life event, behavioral characteristics. Pics, sound, videos which are used in this video are not mine. Credit goes to rightful owners. But the editing and the storyline is mine. Do not copy it. A 23-year-old woman named Lee Wagin was crying her heart out while hugging her boyfriend of 3 years named Kim Taehyung, who's around same age as hers. They were sitting on a bench of a nearby park. As it was weekday morning, there wasn't much people around them, so she let her tears out. His heart ached seeing her crying like that. He somehow then managed to say, "Don't cry, Wagin, it's not your fault." She looked at him and more tears left her eyes. Her tears were not only there to bear the evidence of her heartbreak but also her mourning for the choking last breaths of their relation, the promises between her and her lover. Trust me, Taehyung, I tried to stop this wedding. I truly did. I told that I won't want to marry that guy. But that didn't even listen to me. He's hell-bent on marrying me to that police officer. He nodded his head, knowing very well. Honestly, he couldn't even blame her father. If he himself would have been in her father's place, he would too have chosen a police officer-like partner for his daughter instead of a painter who doesn't have a stable income. You should listen to him. After all, he's just looking for your well-being. Your fiancé is a good man. He couldn't even say more as his throat became dry. Wagin and Taehyung met each other almost 3 years ago. She was doing her undergraduate in nursing back then. That time he happened to go to the hospital where he studied to see his friend who was admitted there, but he mistakenly went to the room where she was presenting her research paper to her professor. Their first meeting was chaotic because he accidentally disturbed the whole class. Little did he know, along with the whole class, he also disturbed his own feelings, fortunately hers too. Their eyes met each other and they both were attracted to each other on the first sight. A week later, Taehyung came to the hospital again, but neither his known one was admitted there nor he needed any checkup. He went there to ask the girl out, with whom he was attracted. He wanted to know her, to go on a date with her, and if luck was on his side, then go on dates with her. The painter felt satisfied when his feelings and actions were towards the nurse were fully reciprocated by her. They started to go on dates, started to know each other's choices. Soon they fell in love. After dating for almost 3 years, both told about each other to their families. His family wholeheartedly accepted her, whereas her family didn't like him despite him waving green flags only because he didn't have a fixed income. Her father immediately warned him to stay away from her and also search potential groom for her. In no time, he got a good proposal from what seemed to be a good family. On cherry on top, the groom was a police officer of a respectable post. Taehyung could definitely argue with her father stating how much of a good guy he is for his daughter, but Taehyung could never prove himself financially better than the police officer her father had selected for her. So, here they were seeing each other for the last time before she got another man's ring on her finger. He brought his palms in front of her face and gently wiped those tears. She held his both hands and leaned onto his touch. More tears poured into her eyes. Why? He wanted to say so much to her, but nothing came out. His own eyes became glossy. As if nature also sensed his pain, it started to rain suddenly. One drop, two drops, just like that, numerous raindrops poured on them and drenched them. She held more tightly on his hands and leaned closer to him. As the rain poured, she closed his lips with hers and kissed him very passionately. Their lips moved in sync as if made only for each other. After devouring each other, she parted away from him while breathing heavily. She whispered gently, "I'm sorry. I pray in future you will get someone so much better than me. So much." He let out a dry laugh as tears made their way to his eyes. This time he pressed his lips on hers while holding her in his arms for the last time. Some days later, Taehyung was sleeping on his bed. That's when his phone rang. He squinted his eyes and picked up the call. His sleepiness got away hearing the voice other side. Taehyung, why? You are calling now? Come downstairs now. I am standing in front of your apartment. What? Come fast. Saying this, she cut the call and he went downstairs with disbelief written on his face. As soon as he came downstairs, he saw her there with luggage. His eyes became wide on seeing her. Why? I can't marry any other man, Taehyung. I can't. It took me lots of courage to come here. Let's get married, Taehyung. But what about your parents? Won't we give them pain by doing this? It's not like you have tons of red flags and I am trying to marry you while ignoring their warnings. Don't you want to marry me, Taehyung? Obviously, I won't. Then let's go to the marriage office now. After our marriage, there's nothing my family can do. He thought her words were not wrong. Truly, after their marriage, nothing could be done. You were saying right. Let me just grab my wallet and ID cards. Pressing a kiss on her cheeks, he was about to go inside, but he tripped onto something and fell down while hearing some sounds. He rubbed his eyes and saw he was in his bed only. His alarm clock was ringing violently. He stopped the alarm clock and sat on the bed while resting his back on the headboard. He was blankly looking at the wall in front of him. Today is Vi's wedding day. She must be taking vows now. Obviously, it was a dream. Girls don't go against their family for a partner like me. They always choose the financially stable groom chosen by their family. Obviously, there are exceptions, but unfortunately, Vigan wasn't an exception. She was just like others. Just like others. He felt anger towards her, a lot of anger along with pain. But if he was drinking practically like other days, maybe he wouldn't have felt anger. Obviously, the heartache and the pain would be there always, period. But maybe not the anger.